Hello there. Welcome to Planet Smasher Games. This is a bit of an experiment. People said that they were interested in seeing behind the scenes. I'm in one of these early moments where this afternoon an idea occurred to me. And as I thought about it, I got excited about it. And as I got excited about it, I started writing in my notebook. And what I've got here is the beginnings of an idea for a silly miniatures game. And I've made some initial character cards and I'm kind of ready to play my first game. Now, I don't really know anything about how this game works yet, but I've got some ideas in my notebook. So the central premise here is, well, it came from the idea, what if chess had list building? And that's developed into this thing, which I'm currently calling Hero Chess. And in Hero Chess, here we've got a couple of dwarf slayers, a human hero, some dwarf riflemen, and this one dwarf miner, and they have some stat cards. And right now the stat cards, I'm not sure if you can see it, stat cards have like descriptions of how they move with these little iconographies, and also what their kind of melee attack range. This little arrow here means a missile weapon attack range. And here are the Orc Warriors. They've got slightly different stats, and here there's a fight value, a defense value, and a hit points. And I think this is probably going to be luckless, but that probably won't survive playtesting. But right now I'm imagining if the fight is bigger than the defense, you take a wound. If they're the same, you get pushed back. And if they are not the same, then the attacker gets pushed back. I don't know. Let's find out what happens. I don't currently have any randomness in this game, so I don't know who goes first. So I'm just going to say the orcs and goblins go first. When you get a go, you can move to an empty space. You can charge by moving to an enemy-occupied space and having a melee combat. I'm not sure and maybe if you lose the combat, you don't move. I'm not sure. You can melee attack someone that's already in your melee arc, or you can do a missile at someone who's in range. So let's try moving this guy. So the Goblin Warrior, the chart says that you can move to any of the spaces in front and to the side, and the circle means and pivot to any direction. And then this one means you can move to the square behind you, but you have to pivot to the sort of running away. Models have facing in this game. That I think is going to be important. So we can move one forward like that. I mean, gripping chess opening. So then we'll go over here. The dwarf slayers can move quite a lot faster. They can move, they can charge forward very easily. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yeah, so they would be able to put pressure on. So we'll move this guy straight away. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. He's now putting pressure on that goblin. So we reach our first question, which is a good one. So this goblin's going to move to there. And this guy can move to any of those squares. So presumably he can choose to move up to those squares. He's not forced to make that whole move. Okay, so we won't do that because that doesn't actually help the situation. But if he charges there, then I want to be able to... I've got no way of representing that you can turn on the spot, which perhaps means you can't turn on the spot, which might be a lot more interesting. So let's take this guy. He's a goblin, so he can pivot. And now he's going to put some pressure on that square. Yeah, I don't really like the charge mechanic. Yeah, I feel like the charge mechanic is already wrong. So move to an empty space. Oh, maybe charge. Yeah, can't pivot. Yeah, that does it. So if you move, you can take advantage of any ability to pivot. And if you charge, then you can't pivot. And maybe you can't even move. Must go forward. Yeah. All right, we'll say you have to go forward. Okay, so now it's these guys. This has a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. He's got a movement of 1. So by moving 1 to there, he can't quite bring the guns to bear. But by moving 1, 2, 3, or even 1, 2, we're putting pressure on that goblin. So we'll do that. Now, orc warriors can attack the 3 squares in front of them, but goblins can only attack the 1 square in front of them. So I would like this guy. I'd like this guy here. He can move his 1 square. The dwarf miner is going to move next. He's going to come off the board with his special dig, dig, dig ability. He'll be able to move onto an edge space. Okay, can we be more aggressive with these orcs and goblins? So can we move through friendly squares? The default thing to do here would be that you may move through friendly squares, but not through enemy. So we'll do that. So then this guy, the orc, has got a double move when he wants to. So I'll push ahead there, put a bit of pressure on. There's no objectives yet. This is just going to be a fight to the death. So we'll move up the gunner. So goblins can move. There's a bit of robot rally dancing here to be done. But it says that they can move forward or that square and they can turn. So that would be a bad move because it's not a charge because he's not moving forward. So that would be also a bad move because this guy can attack him. Okay, cool. So he's kind of stuck there. Oh no, he could go like that. But he's just placing himself in the way of being charged. Yeah, okay. That starts to feel like there's some pressure around there. I don't want to move him. I super want to move him to there because he can shoot. Move. Okay, so there we can do an attack. So that would be a charge because I moved straight, and then I can swing, and I can swing at any one of these with the orc. He's got a fight of 4 against the Dwarf Slayer's defense of 3. This guy's got a fight of 5, but a defense of 3, so that would be a wound. When I'm playtesting, I have a box of random bits and bobs of tokens scavenged from other games, so I've always got something that I need available. Okay, so he has a wound. Perhaps that emboldens him to get stuck in, or perhaps he just stays there. He can swing at that orc. His attack is 5, the orc's defense is 4, so he takes a wound, and in this case, that's enough to eliminate him. He's only got 1 health. The orc can charge to there, and then he can swing, which will eliminate this guy. The intention here is that the goblins are rubbish, and so you have a horde army here, whereas the dwarfs are really elite. I don't think the stats really demonstrate that. But the problem I've got is that with fixed stats and no chance, it's going to be tricky to balance. Anyway, we press on. So the rifleman is going to shoot. He can't shoot someone in that square, but he can shoot someone 1, 2, 3 away. His strength is 2. The goblin warrior's defense is 2. It's not enough to kill it, but it knocks the goblin back. That's interesting. So these guys can't actually eliminate models in ranged combat, which I don't hate. So that presents a problem there. So if this guy was here, I guess we'd have to get pushed back. Yeah, so this would have to be like a kind of Blood Bowl style thing. So do I want him to end up there? Not particularly. He could just walk to there. All right, well, this guy can charge. Continue his reign of terror against Dwarf Slayers. Then the human hero will charge. He's got a fight of 3 against a defense 4. So that's a pushback. Yeah, I don't think I've made this set of dwarfs elite enough to do anything here. And so he just charges again, which could be a problem. Eliminates that. His fight is not enough yet, so there's now nothing that can kill. Oh no, this was a mistake. Rewind, rewind. Okay, so I've forgotten a crucial rule here that I was imagining. So I was imagining that the point of this kind of a combat is that you get a bonus for supporting. So this guy charged in, he didn't get a bonus, but maybe this guy got a bonus to defense. Okay, so that would be more interesting. So this guy's now in a position of power because he's got his natural defense of 3, but this square, he's got a friend tagging that guy. So now he's now defense 4, fight 4. So this guy now knocks him back. I don't know who chooses, so we'll go there for now. And then this guy could charge in. He's got a fight of 3 supported. So he's got a fight of 4 against this guy's defense of 4, so that pushes him back. And this human hero's now got a defense of 4 if he gets attacked. So he's sort of, yeah, okay, that's good. All right, we like charging in with orcs because we know that that gives a wound to a slayer. This gun dude can only attack the square directly in front of him, so he's not going to be able to attack, but the dwarf slayer can just attack and kill that guy because he's got fight 5. Okay, so this guy is not going to be able to deal with any of these guys unless he starts getting some support. So that's good. Let's bring some support up. So there's a problem here with this human hero and rifleman wanting to be very defensive. There's no reason for them to risk an attack. But there is a reason for this guy to risk an attack. So he can move to there and bonk that goblin. And I suppose to have given this guy a special rule. If it defeats a piece in melee, it may attack again in melee. I'm not sure that's come up yet, but that would be good. The dwarf miner needs to come back on. I need to remember that. And then we've got this guy that can, if he defeats an enemy, he can attack again in melee. If he attacks, he can move 1 square afterwards. And these guys are ranged. So that's all the stuff that's going on there that I haven't really been thinking about. You at home will know whose turn it is. I've just forgotten. I think this guy just did it. So then we're going to move there. Yeah, we'll move to there. So that was his movement. Well, this guy wants to charge because that will push back this guy. Push back needs to maintain facing. The human hero is going to want to avoid getting charged by this orc. But he can't step backwards. He could step sideways or he could charge. No, charging does nothing. So we've got this guy, but he can't reach him. He can only reach him. And he wouldn't be able to do anything. Damn, he can't do anything to orcs. Actually, his fight is so crud, he can't even do anything to goblins. All right, the stats are wrong. We can have a little think about that. All right, in which case I think that the game probably stalls out a little bit with the fact that no one can kill anything, which wouldn't be a problem if the objective was more interesting. Yeah, all right, well, it doesn't work yet, but it kind of feels intriguing. The system for figuring out different exotic movements is working surprisingly better than I thought. I was worried it was going to feel a bit crazy and chaotic, or feel a bit like the insane movement charts from whatever it's called, Aeronautica Imperialis. But it feels okay, actually. It's sort of, I think somewhere this has emerged from my memory of Space Fleet, maybe. Anyway, that's Hero Chess. It might be terrible, but I think I'm going to keep tinkering around with this. I hope this view of the very early, somewhat wonky stages of a game design is interesting to you. This is sort of what I do when I've got a game idea. I just put it out on the table and then I just step through it carefully, making little notes and trying to figure out if there's anything there. And then I go sleep on it, and maybe tomorrow my brain will have solved some of these problems. Well, if you want to see more of this nonsense, be sure to click subscribe. And if you think that this is a noble pursuit that you would like me to continue doing for as long as I'm able to do so, then please consider hitting down that Patreon link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you soon. See ya. Bye.